Why, hello there. As you can tell by the funky camera angles, both of them this time, there's going to be some hardware hitting the Linux Gamecast table. Yes, you can already see it right here. So, what is it? Well, it's brown. Very brown. Well, at least the outside is brown. It's got, looks neat. The inside, as you can see from the seam around, is very, well, it's very, ooh, look, the screen came on. It is very much aluminum-like. Specs-wise, what are we looking at? The unit that they sent me comes equipped with an i7-7500U, which the regular clock is 2.7 gigahertz with a turbo of 3.5. It's got two 8GB DDR4 DIMMs. They run at 2133 megahertz. The GPU that comes in the processor is an Intel HD 620. It's not an Iris or an Iris Pro. The panel itself, as you may have already had a sneak peek, it's a 13.3-inch Full HD IPS matte finish panel, which it's one of the things that kind of grinds my gears on these 13.3 screen laptops is how big the bezel is. Here, I'll show you. See this? This is a 13.3-inch screen, and these bezels around the sides and the top and the bottom are huge. This actually looks more like a 14-inch laptop, not a 13.3. But hey, that's just me picking at the nits. It actually comes preloaded with the Tuxedo Ubuntu 1604.3 LTS, which is their heavily customized version of Ubuntu with XFCE. So that's something to keep in mind, and I do mean keep it in mind because that is going to be very important, especially if you go into the written review. You'll be able to see why. Battery. It's actually got a very small battery. 35.3 watt hour, 11.3 volts. It's really not that big. The Slimbook had a much bigger battery. The Enterware Kratos has a much bigger battery. So, what's up with that? It's got two USB Type A 3.1. Yes, I'm not kidding. Let's see if I can show you. You see that where it says right next to the, you can actually see it because it's a little out of focus. There you go. That should be readable. That's a 3.1 next to the USB port there. Yeah, Type A 3.1. Has a lot of bandwidth there. Let's see what else. It's got one Type C 3.1, which is very good. It's got a full-size Ethernet port, actually. This was also really neat. It's got the little flap that you open. But hey, full-size Ethernet port on a laptop this slim. That's really awesome. Let's see what else. It's got one HDMI, one display port. It's got one. Let's see if I can find the slot where the SIM goes. There it is. Yeah, on this side, right next to the USB. And this thing here, this is actually the power button. Yeah, it's on the side, not in the middle of the keyboard. See? Someone gets it. Yeah. It's also got separate microphone and headphone jacks, which is also very good to see in this day and age. You know, it's also, if you're one of those people who does have a Kensington lock, still has a hole for it. The bottom, let's show you the bottom. This one, it's much more obvious where the fan is. You can see it, it's right there. A little information sticker, some intakes, but it also does the thing which I can't actually seem to show you on this one, because they're really hidden in there. Let's see if I open it, if you can see it. Let's see. If you peer in there into the hinge, you can see those holes. Yeah. Those are air exhausts, which is also very, very neat. The inside, as I already mentioned, the power button is actually on the side, which is neat. And as far as chiclet keyboards go, I don't hate this one. I genuinely don't. It's one of those, okay, it's still a chiclet keyboard. The key travel is still horrible. It doesn't feel good for me, anyway, to type on it. But if you're going to do a chiclet keyboard, do it like this. Because if it weren't for the fact that the enter/return key is still this half-size thingy here with the top side used for the backslash and the pipe. Don't do that. Just give us a full-size return. It's not that hard, please. If you look at the bottom, these two screws here will get you access to the keyboard, and this might look like a screw hole, but it isn't. It's actually just a push hole. You put your screwdriver through there and you push the keyboard free after you've removed these other two screws. And I guess since we're down here, well, you have 12 screws in total, but it's actually surprising how neatly packed everything is once you pop these 12 screws and you remove the back cover. Everything is really neat. They even have a picture on their website that you can look at. It's actually really, really nice. This is a WebFi USB stick. What does it do? It lets you pick from any of their customized distros which one to install. You will need an internet connection, and they highly recommend that you use the Ethernet port for it. And it literally just downloads it, installs it, Bob's your uncle. We've included a new test with this review, which is the Encode Test, which you can also find on our forums. It's if you click Chatrealm, the button that says Chatrealm in linuxgamecast.com, you'll be able to find the Encode benchmarking thread, which will give you the file and the command you need to run after you install Handbrake CLI. Now, by default, this laptop comes with QuickSync enabled. And QuickSync on Linux takes some doing, especially on Ubuntu 16.04, and they did it. They ship it to you already done, good to go, which meant that encode by default took a whole of 7 minutes. Of course, the moment I tried a version of Handbrake without QuickSync enabled, lo and behold, it took about 35-36 minutes on both their version of Ubuntu and my version of Solus. So, yeah. Actually, those were very much on par. It was the file transfer tests that actually showed the most improvement from my customizations rather than theirs. So yeah, they really did put me back in my place. I was not expecting that. Good job. You probably recognize this. Okay, sure, maybe not with the X logo on the top here, but this is a relatively common model of laptop between Linux resellers, and I can see why. It's thin, it looks good, this top here is very much a fingerprint magnet, as you can see. The one complaint I have about the outside is actually the fake bezel, or, well, it's not fake, it's just a bezel, but this here, it's all metal, it's all aluminum, feels really good. This is plastic. It's really, really glaringly plastic. But hey, that's not Tuxedo's fault. They just put their branding on it. That's it. What is Tuxedo's fault is how awesome the battery life on this laptop is with a battery this small and with this performance. You can tell that they were very aggressive with their battery tests, or their battery optimizations, because when the laptop is working off of battery, it limits the performance by a significant deal. And that's really good, because it's a laptop. It's meant for portability. Even if you want to play games on battery, you want to save as much battery as possible. Obviously, I said battery a lot there. On my Solus install, there was no performance cap when the unit was on battery, which means that I got an hour and 10 minutes of battery, while with their optimizations, aggressive as they may be, over 2.5 hours of gaming. Sure, the performance took a hit, but that's very good. Sure, the hardware, it's not new. You've seen it probably. But they did a really good job with the software to support this laptop. And you can see it all in the written review. There's a link. Go have a read, or if you don't read it all, at least look at the pretty graphs. I put a lot of work into those. Please. Justify my time.